Yeah, I know you mentioned this a while ago. Kadang considering the situation, but like you mentioned something like about the momentum of the End Polio Now event, no? Pero from 2019. But what made you guys decide to hold it again this year? I mean,
Well,
especially this year, nga, it's really
yeah.
difficult.
Well, there were three major factors affecting. There were a lot of factors affecting it, but three major ones were first and foremost the club, our club, since the start of the pandemic has, and I take my hat off to Stephen, to Bobong Castillo, to Mike Torres, to Edward Tanting. There's just so many members of our club, and a lot of other clubs in the district, and a lot of other Rotary clubs worldwide that have done non-stop activities to be able to help try to flatten the curve. I, I mean, since early as March, uh, Rotary clubs worldwide has been on their toes, up on their feet, trying to provide sanitation equipments, PPEs, food banks. Just a little bit of information that maybe Stephen can elaborate later on is probably how we did our COVID initiatives. Maybe later Stephen can just say something about it. But the first reason is really like the club has really been on their feet for 6 months nonstop, and we felt like it's time to be able to break away from this, from the pandemic. I mean, other news is better than the same news you're hearing over and over. So it's one way to be able to create a break. The second was we've relaxed the quarantine protocol, so you're already now in MGCQ, so that makes it a bit safer to go outdoors. And third, and I think as equally important, is we still need the funds. I mean, yes, two countries na lang. What is two countries? But imagine, let's just like what Stephen said, it only takes one infection to fly to one country, and it will start another, catastrophe. So try to do it. We've done it once. We know we raised something like $5,000 last year. And if you will ask me the question, I will answer you how much we raised this year, but I will reserve that until you ask me. But so those are the three main reasons that we really we said, like, yeah, it's the pandemic, but let's just do something different. And
So
we know, with the blessings of the MGCQ, and just to make sure that you follow all health protocols, and plus to be able to give on an annual basis means consistency, means we are really one step closer to ending that one.
so how much did you make this year? How much did you raise this year?
So I'm happy to report that this year, amidst the pandemic, we were able to get pledges at $7,290.
Oh wow,
So
more than last year, huh?
a lot more than last year. A lot more people giving. A lot more people giving smaller amounts compared to last year's. Fewer people giving bigger amounts, and with the volume of people that gave, it gives you renewed hope to see that, oh, these people, but there are a lot of people out there who give 300 pesos to the End Polio Fund as equally important as the ones giving 50,000 pesos, because you know that hard times karon, and yet they still give. I think that's, and I think one of the outputs of the ride was really, you see that people are coming together to help. You see that riders, they pledge, and in fact, one of our, I didn't have permission to say her name, so I'm not gonna say it, but one of our riders actually told her friends, for every kilometer I finish, you give me 10 pesos. And she finished the 115 kilometers, and she raised almost 50,000 pesos.
Wow.
That's a thousand
No.
dollars. So it's amazing. And she's a non-Rotarian.
Mm.
And I'm happy to also say that of the amount that we raised, about 35% came from non-Rotarians. And that number was a lot smaller. Last year, only about 15% were from non-Rotarians. So to be able to have this effect, for Rotary to have this effect on non-Rotarians, means that the awareness campaign is working. The ride that we did last year with Stephen and Carlo and the rest of the guys, and the ride we did this year, has a positive effect already. So why stop it, right?